In the world of football, there are talented players and there are great players. But once every generation, someone appears beyond all categories. Someone who refuses to let poverty define his destiny, refuses to let criticism break his spirit, and refuses to let reality stop him. A man who began his life in a small alley on a remote island. He could have been just another child lost to poverty, but instead, he became one of the greatest football players in history. This is not just the story of a footballer. This is the story of Cristiano Ronaldo, the story of a child who dreamed of becoming the best and spent his entire life making that dream come true. So let's go back to the beginning, to where the dream was born in the hardest place imaginable.
Ronaldo!
February 5th, 1985, Madeira Island, Portugal. A beautiful island, but a poor one. There, Cristiano dos Santos Aveiro was born into a very humble family. His father, José Diniz Aveiro, worked as a gardener and a kit man at an amateur football club. His mother, Maria Dolores, worked as a school cook, struggling to feed 4 children. Life was hard. The house was extremely modest. Money was scarce, and the young boy sometimes cried because he was hungry. But one thing was clear. This child was not ordinary. He ran faster than everyone, moved across stones and streets as if he had wings, and the ball was everything to him. He played in the streets, in alleys, anywhere he could. At the age of 8, he joined a small club called Andorinha, the same club where his father worked. There, the first step of a very long journey began. At age 10, Ronaldo moved to Nacional Madeira. His talent was so obvious that his coaches said, this boy could become something great if he finds the right environment. At the same time, his personal life was difficult. His father struggled with alcohol addiction. The home was full of problems, and his mother worked day and night to support the family. Yet, hope never faded. The boy went to training every day and never left until the last player finished. He cried when he lost, cried when he made mistakes. Football was everything to him. At the age of 12, the first major turning point arrived. After a series of trials, Ronaldo joined the Sporting Lisbon Academy, one of Portugal's biggest clubs, but he had to leave his family, his island, his entire life. In 1997, he moved to Lisbon. He was only 12 years old. The shock was overwhelming. A huge city, a new school, a different accent, and a very hard life. Other children mocked him for being from Madeira, the poor, distant island. His suffering grew because of homesickness, especially missing his mother. But he told himself, I will become the best player in the world. That promise became his fuel. At 14, something happened that nearly ended his career. Ronaldo was diagnosed with a heart condition, tachycardia, a disease that could have ended any footballer's career. But Ronaldo was brave. He underwent delicate laser surgery. Just days later, he returned to training. He returned because he knew the dream was more valuable than fear. At age 15, an even greater tragedy followed. The football prodigy, who needed emotional support, slowly lost his father to alcoholism. Family struggles, psychological pain, endless pressure. Yet again, football became his only refuge. On August 14, 2002, Ronaldo played a friendly match between Sporting Lisbon and Manchester United. That night, he delivered a breathtaking performance. Sir Alex Ferguson, the legend, was watching, and the impression was crystal clear. I want this player now. Days later, at just 18 years old, Ronaldo signed for Manchester United for £12.24 million, a massive fee for a teenager. The most important chapter had begun. Manchester United, 2003 to 2009. When Ronaldo arrived in England, the pressure was unbearable. The most expensive teenager in the world, a ruthless fan base, a new language, a team full of stars. Under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance, Ronaldo evolved from a flashy winger into a complete player. In 6 seasons, he won 3 Premier League titles, UEFA Champions League 2008, FIFA Club World Cup, Ballon d'Or 2008. He scored more than 118 goals for the club. In 2009, he moved to Real Madrid for €94 million, the most expensive transfer in history at the time. The Real Madrid era was Ronaldo's golden age. Achievements: 4 UEFA Champions League titles, 2 La Liga titles, 4 additional Ballon d'Or awards. Real Madrid's all-time top scorer, 450 goals in 438 matches. Countless records. Season after season, he competed with Lionel Messi, a rivalry that forged legends. In Madrid, Ronaldo became a phenomenon, a player who trained like a machine, rejected rest, and refused to lose. He was the first to arrive at training and the last to leave. Even teammates described him as obsessed with improvement. In 2018, Ronaldo left for Juventus. The decision shocked the world and revealed that Madrid had failed to fully value one of its greatest players. At Juventus, he won trophies, but not the Champions League. Criticism grew, and some began to say, Ronaldo is finished. In 2021, he returned to Manchester United, but it was a chaotic period. Poor management, a team without identity, constant managerial changes. Ronaldo performed well, but media pressure was brutal. In 2022, just before the World Cup, a major crisis erupted with the club, and the relationship ended. Many said, this is the end of the legend, but the legend disagreed. In January 2023, Cristiano signed with Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia. A new league, a new culture, a new world. Many mocked the move. Some called it the end. But the truth, it was a beginning. His presence became a global phenomenon, a massive jump in Saudi League broadcasting rights, explosive growth in global viewership, European clubs chasing global stars, enormous economic impact. On the pitch, Ronaldo returned as a goal-scoring machine. He scored more than 50 goals in 2023, the highest tally in the world that year. At 38 years old, he kept competing, scoring, fighting, as if time meant nothing. To this day, the highest goal scorer in football history, 950-plus goals. The all-time leading international goal scorer, 128 goals. The most decorated player with individual awards. The first player to score in 5 consecutive World Cups. One of the richest footballers ever, with a net worth exceeding $500 million. Millions of fans, massive cultural influence, and an irreplaceable sports icon. Ronaldo today is not just a player, he is a brand, a symbol of discipline, a school of determination, and a role model for millions. Ronaldo's story is not just about talent. Millions have talent, but very few have willpower. Ronaldo's story is the story of a poor child who refused to surrender to poverty, the story of a young man who turned pain into strength, the story of a man who never broke under criticism or humiliation, the story of a fighter who never accepts an ending, the story of a legend who rebuilt himself every single day. The lessons? It doesn't matter where you start. It matters how you finish. Failure is a phase, was not the end. Success requires discipline, not excuses. You must prove yourself every day, even when you are the best. This is the journey of Cristiano Ronaldo, the man who defeated poverty, defeated illness, and defeated history itself, a journey of a legend that will never be repeated.